to another Pilates session with me. It'll be about another 20-minute workout, all in the chair. We're going to be thinking about our posture, we're going to be thinking about our breath control, and we're going to be thinking about our abdominal connection as well. So let's just remind ourselves of some of the things we thought about last week. So I'm sat on a stool, but however you're sitting on your chair, you want to make sure that you're feeling that the base of the sit bones, the base of your pelvis, are firmly down on the chair, that we're not tucking under and we're not arching forwards. So if I go side on, this means that we're not slumped back into the chair and we're not leaning forwards, and we haven't got the elbows on the side of the chair if you have that as well. So it helps to think from there of having your feet nice and flat on the floor, or if you're in your shoes, just having the weight even through both feet. So you can get a sense of all of your 10 toes being on the floor. We don't want to sit with our ankles crossed, with one leg up. I always go for a parallel, being about a hip distance apart, hips being the hip bones at the front of the pelvis, not the outside of the hips, but where the bones go, because we're all a bit different with the outside of the hips. But if you're more comfortable a little wider apart, a little bit turned out, that's fine. Just try and get that sense of 10 toes on the floor. So we're on our sit bones. We're not slumped into the chair. We've got those 10 toes on the floor, and the hands are just going to rest nice and easily on your thighs. So we're going to think about our breathing. We're going to take a deep breath in, and then just take a nice deep breath out. And to help us with our breathing today, we're going to move our shoulders. So we're going to inhale and lift the shoulders up, and exhale, let them drop down. So again, we're going to inhale them up, and exhale, we'll let them drop down. And your shoulders might move at a different pace to your breath. I'm going to drop mine down, but I'm still breathing out. Equally, I'm going to bring them up, and I've still got more breath, even though I'm lifting them up high, and then they're going to drop down before the breath goes. Just do a few more of those. Lift them up as you breathe in, and drop them down as you breathe out. And again, lift them up as you breathe in, and drop them down as you breathe out. Okay, so we're still thinking about our breathing, not focusing on the shoulders now. I'd like you to put one hand on your rib cage, or you can put it on your belly, and one hand a little higher on your chest. The hand that's on the chest wants to keep still. We're going to try and focus the breath going down into that lower hand by your rib cage or your belly. And sometimes the easiest thing to do is focus on that out breath. So let's start with that. I want you to breathe out as deeply as you feel that you possibly can. And then when you inhale, it's easier to get that breath into that lower hand. And then we're going to breathe out as deeply as you can. And as you breathe in, we're going to try and get a bit of a sense of moving that bottom hand. So we try not to breathe now with our shoulders. We're trying to keep the shoulders down. And think of breathing in and out, and there being a hand that moves around on the belly. Even if you can't get that movement with the hands, just taking those deeper breaths is really going to help that blood flow and that oxygen through the system. So it's a really beneficial thing to do. All right, so we've got our breath going. I'm going to get you to think now about your tummy. So I like to put one hand on my back for this one, and one hand on the front where we were with our breathing. As you breathe out, I want you to feel like you're pulling your belly button in and towards your back hand, almost like those hands were trying to squeeze towards each other. As you inhale, you can release that connection, and as you breathe out, you're thinking of pulling your belly button right into your back. And as you breathe in, you can release that, and as you breathe out, we're going to pull that all the way in. Again, when you breathe in, you can release that connection, and as you breathe out, pull the belly in. All right, as we move through the rest of the session, if you can try and think about that nice deep breathing and that abdominal connection, that will be great. We're going to focus on our fingertips now. I want you to scrunch your hands up and then open them out wide. Scrunch them up and open them wide. And again, we're going to scrunch them and open them and scrunch them. And if you can, we're going to try and do 5 a bit faster. Scrunch, open, scrunch, open, scrunch, open, scrunch, open, scrunch, open, scrunch, open, and then relax them down. Give your shoulders a little circle around, because often we can get a bit of tension in our shoulders once we start doing that. We're going to try and do another exercise with our fingertips today. Just do what you can. We're going to bring our thumb and our second finger to touch. Just give it a squeeze and release. Then you're going to bring your middle finger and your thumb to touch. Give that a little release. Your fourth finger and your thumb to touch. Give that a little release. And your fifth finger and your thumb to touch and release. We'll do that again. Second finger and release. Middle finger and release. Fourth finger and release. And fifth finger and release. And often one side is easier than the other. Second finger a little faster. Third finger. Fourth finger. And fifth finger. Don't worry if you can't get them completely to touch. Just do what you can. Alright, we're going to try and go a little bit faster for 2 more. Second, third, fourth and fifth. Second, third, fourth and fifth. And just relax that. Again, give your shoulders that nice circle round so it will release through there. Alright, moving up the body. So we've done the fingertips. We've had a little shoulder shrug and release. Today we're going to come into the head and the neck. So first of all, I just want you to drop your chin to the chest. So you're looking down. And then let it float all the way up. We'll do that again. We're going to drop the chin down and let it float all the way up. Again, drop the chin to the chest. Let it float all the way up. One more time. Drop the chin to the chest. Let it float all the way up. We're going to do a little incline. Ear to shoulder on one side and then back to the center. Ear to shoulder on the other side and then back to center. Now I'm trying not to move my spine, just to let my head and neck release. Ear to shoulder and release. We'll do this a few more times. If you can feel any tension through in your neck and it's uncomfortable, it's giving you a headache, make that movement much smaller. Otherwise, that little incline one side, that incline to the other side, and then shrug the shoulders all the way around. Okay, all right, we're going to do some little neck rolls. Start by nodding the chin to the chest, and then roll the ear to one shoulder. We're just doing that movement there. Then you're going to roll the ear to the other shoulder, all the way around. And again, all the way around, ear to one shoulder, all the way around, ear to the other shoulder. I'm going to do that a few more times. All the way around, ear to one shoulder, all the way around, ear to the other shoulder. And we'll go again, all the way around, ear to one shoulder, all the way around, ear to the other shoulder, and then just release the neck and bring yourself up to sitting nice and tall. Okay, let's focus a little bit on the pelvis now. We're going to do what I call a seated hula. So if it helps you, you can take your hands on the hips, otherwise you can just keep them resting on your legs. So we're going to just tuck the pelvis under, which means you're just going to roll back a little bit. You're going to rock off of those sit bones and then come up to sitting tall. We'll do the same thing again. We're going to rock off of the sit bones and then come up to sitting tall. We'll do that again. Rock back and sit tall. I'm going to go side on so you can see that. So a little rock back and a little sit up. So I'm trying to think that I could balance a cup of coffee on my head as I do this. I'm not dropping my chin and my head down. I'm just thinking of moving back with the spine. Okay, so that's the first bit of the movement. The next little bit of the movement, we're going to try and go a little bit forwards. So almost think that you were going to stand up. So you're trying to shift the weight forward a little bit, like you were going to come up to standing. Forward a little bit. And one more time. Forward. So your movement might be quite small, and that's absolutely fine. We're going to do a little side to side next. So again, this is where it slightly helps to have your hands on your hips. We're going to think of putting more weight in one side and then center, and then more weight in the other side and center. Imagine that you'd sat on someone's book and they're trying to take it away. And you've just got to take the weight off of one side so someone can pull their book out. All right, so we're going to try and put all of those together for our seated hula. We're going to start by tucking. We're going to go to one side. A little forward like you were going to stand up, to the other side, and then back. We'll go again. Round to one side. A little bit forward, round to the other side, and back. We're going again to one side, a little forward, to the other side, and back. And last time in this direction, all the way round and back. So let's go to the other side, little forward lean, other side and back. We're going round and around and the side and back. We've got two more, circling round all the way back. So we're varying where the pressure is through those sit bones at the bottom of the pelvis. Let's go one more time, all the way round and all the way back. Good, and then just bring yourself to sitting centered. Okay, let's take a little bit of attention to the legs now. First of all, we're just going to bring ourselves into the hand and knee work that we did the other side. So just that little lift of the hand to the knee, like you're kind of marching on the spot. If it's too much for you to bring that knee up, just bring your hand down onto the leg. We're just doing this to just get that blood flow going through the body again. We're trying to think of sitting up nice and upright. We're trying not to slump every time that knee lifts. So it doesn't have to be very high. It can be quite a small little lift. Let's just stay here for 8 more. And 7. And 6. And 5. We'll go 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And rest. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of ankle movement now. I'm able to hold my leg up here, but if you want to take your hands behind the leg, that is absolutely fine. Equally, you can rest the heel on the floor. We're going to do alphabet ankles, which means that we're going to try and write all of the letters of the alphabet with that foot. So starting with that capital letter A, and then a capital letter B, and then a C, and then a D. So as you keep moving through this, I'm on F now, and G. What's really nice for the ankle joint is that it gets very used to doing ankle circles. Ankle circles are great, but it's quite nice to really get your brain to think with that joint and get it to move all the way around in different combinations. I'm on P, Q. If at any point this gets too tiring, which it can do, particularly as I'm on T now, just rest. I'm going to go all the way through though. U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Good, and then rest that leg down. Excellent, and let's just lift and lower the heel a couple of times on that foot. And then leave the heel down and just lift your toe up a couple of times on that foot. Lift and lower the toe, lift and lower the toe, lift and lower the toe. All right, so let's do the other side. So again, hold the leg if you want, or rest the heel on the floor. I'm going to bring it up here, and we're going to move through the letters of the alphabet on that second side. So I'm on E, F. Often it's much easier to write the alphabet letters with one side of the body more than other. Sometimes a certain part of the movement is much easier on one side than the other. I'm on P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And then rest that leg down, and then let's just lift and lower that heel a couple of times. Nice, and then leave the heel down, lift and lower those toes a couple of times. Good, excellent. So those feet probably feel quite alive. You might feel like there's a little bit of work gone on through the sides of the calves. That's very normal. And we're going to do a roll down now, which is a nice way to just let everything kind of put everything together that we've been looking at today. The spinal movement, the breath, the abdominal connection, and getting a nice kind of flow through the body. So the feet go back to being flat on the floor. We don't require anything more through the ankles. I'm going to get you to sit yourself up nice and tall and take that deep breath in. As you breathe out, you'll nod the chin to the chest, so you're looking down at your belly button. And either you can slide your hands down along the outside of the legs to the ankles as you hang forwards, or you can bring your hands on the inside of the legs. Breathe in at the bottom, and then let's roll ourselves all the way back up until we're sitting up tall. We'll do that again, chin to chest and roll down. You can have your legs farther apart if it's more comfortable for you. Breathe in and then breathe out. We'll bring ourselves all the way back on and up. Excellent. I'll do a couple side on for you. We're going to sit tall, and then we'll roll the chin to the chest and take the hands down towards the floor just as far as you can. Breathe in as you breathe out and you come up. It's like you're stacking the bones of the spine, one on top of the other. Go again, chin to chest, rolling all the way down. And then we're going to bring ourselves all the way up nice and tall. Excellent. All right, so that's some flexion through the spine. We've done, we're going to do a little bit of rotation and a little bit of lateral flexion now. So just leave the feet on the floor. Take one hand across you to your thigh. The other hand can rest on the side of your chair, on the base of your pelvis, or just kind of hang out on this leg as well. We're going to try and sit up nice and tall to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're going to twist. We're going to try and sit up nice and tall again to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're going to twist. Let's go again. Inhale. Sit up tall. Breathe out. We'll twist. And last time, inhale, sit up tall, and breathe out and twist. Good, let's do the same thing on the other side. So other hand over to your leg, other hand behind your spine, on the chair or on that other leg as well. Breathe in, sit tall, and we're going to breathe out to twist. Inhale, sit tall, and we'll breathe out to twist again. Inhale, sit tall, breathe out to twist. And we'll go one more time. Inhale, sit tall, and breathe out to twist. Good. So that's our side twisting. Now we've got some side bending. I'm going to take a hand behind the head today. You can reach up high or you can bring it across you if you want. So with my hand behind the head, I'm going to think of my elbow drawing like a quarter arc. So I'm going to breathe in, and as I breathe out, I'm going to flex to the side. Now this isn't lifting a hip. This isn't like you're taking that book out behind you. This is both sit bones down, and I'm trying to bring my elbow up to the roof, and then I'm coming all the way back. Same side again. Over we go. And then we're coming all the way back. Over we go. And then we come all the way back. And let's go one more time. Over we go. And come all the way back. All right, so other side, that hand out, other hand behind your head. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going over to the side and then coming all the way back. We're going to go over to the side and come all the way back. And again, over we go, all the way back. And again, over we go, and all the way back. Good, and then release the arm and circle the shoulders. Last little thing we need to do is do a bit of extension, or dancers call this a high release. It's this lovely opening across the collarbones, like you were on the prow of a ship. It's not about just dropping the chin back and looking up at the roof. It's more about looking out on the diagonal. I talk about being in the theatre and looking up to the gods at the top. So again, I'm going to go side on because I think it makes it a little easier to see what I'm doing. I'm also going to take my arm out in front to give you a reference point, but you don't have to do this. So the idea is that that arm is in line with my chest. And when I lift my chest up, the arm lifts a bit, and then I'm going to release forwards. Now this one, it does help to breathe in, to lift the chest, and breathe out, to come down. Breathe in, to lift the chest, and breathe out, to come down. So it doesn't have to be a big movement, and we almost use that inhale to help us open across the collarbones. Lift the chest, release, sit back. And we're going to go one more time, and hopefully you notice that this isn't where I'm trying to sit forwards out my chair. I'm not trying to slump back. It's just that lift up of the breastbone and release down, and then we'll lower the hands and we'll circle the shoulders. Cool. So we've covered quite a lot today. We've done little finger movements and then quite focused finger movements. We've done some nice shoulder rolls and some shoulder shrugs, a little bit of a neck release, a little bit of ankle working, and a little bit of spine movement. The main thing to think about as you're moving through your day is to think about how tall you can sit. I often think about trying to be in the 2 inches above myself all the time, so that we're really trying to be as tall. And the taller you sit, the more those deep abdominals are going to work for you to support your spine. And then it's easier to breathe, and that breath gives us more energy. So thank you for joining me. Have a lovely day, and I hope to see you soon.